Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blood Red podcast from Liverpool Echo. Coming to you on this Friday afternoon at the end of what has been a pretty busy week in the world of Liverpool Football Club. We've got the A-team today, this afternoon. Paul Gorst and Doyle here to discuss that busy week. Before we do, a word from the sponsors, which is NordVPN. NordVPN and their app can help you with things like protection for your data whilst travelling using public Wi-Fi. NordVPN protects you wherever you are in the world, has a threat protection feature and protects you from viruses, malicious malware and phishing sites, which feature across 10 devices with one account. More benefits and more information, download the NordVPN app to your device and click the link in the podcast episode description box below. I'm Mark Jones, but I don't know if I said that before, but I have now. Busy week, as I say. There's a game tomorrow, which we'll get to. There's been a Champions League draw, which we'll get to as well. First, though, I think we should go straight in with the transfers, which is the thing that people like to. I
thought you were going to say let's kick off with the kit unveiling.
There's that as well. Yeah, what do you think of it?
Don't mind it, actually. Inspired by the European nights.
Yes,
how's that? Which European nights has it been inspired by?
The ones where they played in a strange kit.
Which ones? Name me one.
Chelsea 2005. Do you know what? Though? I've seen a lot of chatter about the accent of the voiceover, the narrator of the video. I think a lot of people missed that it was actually Owen Cooper, the star of Adolescence.
Was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So people were saying, well, at least get a Scouser on. But he's obviously from Warrington, I believe.
Is he?
But big Liverpool fan.
Very, very
and
talented young man.
And that's why he was the narrator of the video.
So if he's from Warrington, what's he called? According to one of our former colleagues, Andy Kelly. He is a motorway wool.
A motorway
apparently.
wool?
Apparently. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah. What would that make you from St.
I'm just a normal wool.
Normal?
Yeah.
And you from North Wales?
Well, let's not go down that. Let's not go down that road. Don't go down that road now.
There's a new kit. Anyway, I didn't get to that one, but
it can make you float as well, can't it?
It can. Can you see that picture? That's the first one. You sent me the pictures, and that's the first one I clicked on. I was like, "What is going on there?" It was just Ryan Gravenberch. If you've not seen it, Ryan Gravenberch just floating, reading the paper.
Somebody else has said that this will be good to help Liverpool alleviate those set piece problems.
I saw someone saying
he wouldn't be good underneath the wall, would he? He'd just go underneath.
I saw someone saying yesterday, Newcastle are on the counter attack. Ryan Gravenberch. He's not reading the paper.
It does explain a lot. It really does. Some transfers have happened, though. Well, one in particular is about to. We think.
Is it?
We think it's about to. It's the thing that everyone likes to tune into these things for. Normally, I try and keep it to the end to keep them waiting, but it's a very exciting. Let's take everything away. Look, it's been a long summer of pursuing this particular player, Bradley Barcola. Taking all of that away. First things to be said, he's a very, very talented footballer, and Liverpool are getting a very good player.
Yeah, so what is it? 120 million. I think PSG were looking for around 145 to begin with. And I think once it became clear that they were sort of strengthening their forward line with Mika Götze from Ajax, Ferran Torres from Barcelona, and Magnus Akaluche from Monaco, I think once you get all them on board, the writing is on the wall for Bradley Barcola and Ibrahim Mbaye, in fairness. There's talk of him going to potentially buy Leverkusen. So there's been no real surprise that an agreement, in principle at least, has been reached. I think people were expecting that development at some point. I guess the issue has always been what's going to be the number that they eventually agree on. So in a way, Liverpool might look at this as a bit of a triumph of negotiations. 25 million less than what they were originally being quoted for a player who's certainly surplus to requirements at PSG. Made it known that he didn't want to sign a new contract. Made it known, a good sort of month to 5 weeks ago now that he would jump at the chance of moving to Liverpool. So, yeah, the most recent update we had was via Ian yesterday morning, and it looks as though all things are heading towards this deal getting done before Tuesday at 11 o'clock for the deadline, isn't it? So, still waiting to see if those finer details can be ironed out. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any issues, but we're just waiting for the detail that it is all sorted and a medical is being booked in. So, I'm pretty sure it does get over the line now, and it will be a significant addition, but it can't be the only one, to be honest. There has to be a bit more.
No, and I'm not making a joke about it, but for all the sort of grumbling that this has taken quite a long time, as you say, it's essentially saving sort of 25 million from the transfer. He couldn't have played in a meaningful game 2 months ago, when they first started talking about all this. So it will be someone's job at Liverpool to go, look, I've turned around and I've saved you £25 million there. So, these things are, it does matter, but as you say, it's important they've got it over the line now, or in the next few days. What do you think he brings to the side, and what do you think the makeup of the attack looks like now?
Before that, what do you reckon they're going to spend the 25 million on?
Another midfielder with a bit of luck.
Yeah, not on improving the press box food.
Don't go down that road again.
I've just set you up for that one. Again, it's like so many footballers these days. I haven't really seen a lot of him, even though I've seen him play against Liverpool 4 times.
Yeah,
too busy
I watched
involving
him in
myself.
Dubai. He played for Lyon.
Yeah,
in that friendly in Dubai, which I must admit totally passed me by.
Oh, was it like a Qatar World Cup?
Yeah,
it was 2022.
He scored. Yeah. Liverpool got beat 3-1 and he scored, which I'd totally forgotten about.
He kind of wasn't at PSG all that long. I saw a picture of him next to Lovren playing for Lyon. Sort of, makes you realise he's been around a little bit.
Well, this is the thing as well, is that PSG are the European champions, 2-time European champions, and he's a player who pretty sure he didn't start either final. I know he set up a goal, didn't he, in the first one against Inter Milan, and they are, whether you like it or not, for whatever price they are, happy to eventually let him go. So that would be my only concern. It's a lot of money for somebody who isn't, unlike Isak and unlike Wirtz, and to a certain degree unlike Darwin Núñez, and certainly unlike Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker. They were all regulars and key players in the respective teams. And I know obviously it's a very different bar with PSG, given that they've won the Champions League the last 2 times. But I'm always wary of when you end up taking players off your, whether you like it or not, the nearest rival, because they're the only team that's knocked out Liverpool of the Champions League the last 2 years is PSG.
I mean, I'd take your point, but he was a regular until Doué sort of nudged him out. At the start of last season, he played 72 times in 1 year for club and country.
He was like their real sort of start shining light, wasn't he? A couple of seasons ago, just before the Champions League.
But there's 2 ways to look at it. Then the other way would be, well, he's clearly somebody that needs another challenge, and you've seen this with Salah, certainly, as somebody who needed something a bit different. He went off somewhere else and ended up becoming a big success. So Liverpool will be hoping that, but it's still a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and to Liverpool, I mentioned those names there. I mentioned the first 3: Isak, Wirtz, and Núñez. And you'd say Núñez was a qualified success. He did help him win the league, even if he didn't play a load of games. And they won a League Cup when he was there, although he was injured for the final itself. Isak, obviously, last season didn't really do very much. And Wirtz had like 2 or 3 months where you could see what the promise was, and then he fell away towards the end of last season. So Liverpool don't have a particularly brilliant record at spending a load of money in recent times, which is strange when you think that before that, the 2 that they brought in, I mentioned Van Dijk and Alisson, were absolute surefire bets, have ended up becoming massively successful and are still both at the club and are going to be a big part this season. But that's my worry, is it's a lot of money for a player who... You forget that they spent almost £80 million on Ekitike. At the end, he was way more of an impact than Isak or Wirtz. So they spent a lot of money on 4 players. If this goes through, which we're pretty sure it will do, quick maths, 250, 350, 370. So you're looking at £450 million, probably just a bit over, on 4 attackers.
Yes.
Which is... And then, obviously, we're hoping that Liverpool sign another one, because they definitely need a right winger, which was a priority before Barcola, because I'm pretty sure we've said this before on the podcast and we've written it. They thought they had a very good chance of getting Diamande from Leipzig. That didn't pan out, and that's why they've ended up going here, there, and everywhere looking for a right winger. But again, we've seen some suggestion that Barcola can play off the right, but they can all do that, can't they? And an interesting thing, which isn't public domain yet, and so I won't go too much into it. If you buy the Echo or read the Echo tomorrow, you'll see a bit more on Iriola and really revealing a little bit more about what he plans to be doing with his forwards this season.
I think you know, when you look at it, when everyone's got a clean bill of health, Liverpool have got a really exciting, forward department in terms of Isak and Ekitike through the middle. Let's say they do sign a right-sided player. They'll have him and Gamoa. And then on the left side, obviously it depends a lot what happens with Cody Gakpo, but, I think Liverpool will end the window with Ngamoa and Barcola on the left. You've got Munoz and whoever this right winger is on the right. Possibly Minter. I still think he will make a late play for Minter. And then you've got Ekitike and Isak through the middle. There's 6 really good options, isn't it? You can chop and change, you can rotate and rest, and
And if Gakpo ends up staying, he can play left, he can play centre as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they do sign a right-sided player, they do expect Cody Gakpo to be the odd man out in that equation. But however it sort of shakes up is quite exciting for the long term, really, because, Barcola, I think he'll be 24 quite soon. Ekitike is still around that age. Wirtz is 23, and Gamoa will be 18 tomorrow. Munoz is 23, is he? So, it's that forward department has got years to grow and develop together, which I think should be something to be really excited about, really. If they can just get that balance right in midfield, Liverpool have a really, good team, good squad going forward.
I think the suggestion of what Gorst just said then about for years going forward, it isn't going to be this season. It isn't going to be this season. I think this season, people are... In fact, we do the Q&A, don't we? And we got a question saying, why is there so much negativity about Liverpool after one game? And it's like, well, it's not, is it? It's not negativity, it's just realism. No one thinks they're going to be competing for the league. And if they finish in the top four, decent season. But I think a lot of fans, after the high of 15, 16 months ago, and then going through what they had to go through last season, I just thought they'll want a little bit more... I mean, just positivity, a little bit more to celebrate, basically. Yeah, and so some new faces. They've got the new faces, but most of them have been in the backroom staff.
But just the change in the squad from the players that won the league is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and but they don't want us to keep on looking back to last season. I think to get away from that, it's going to take more than just changing the manager. It's the players that need to change, and I don't think there's any surprise that if you look at the game, I mentioned this earlier this week against Newcastle, the goals they conceded were exactly the same goals that we conceded at the start of last season, which is why Slot changed the team around and ended up going too far the other way and making them extremely boring.
Yeah, but it's a club in transition, isn't it? Every sort of aspect of the club, there is something new developing and evolving. We've seen the interview with Ahmed Bhatia today on LFC TV. He's going to be at the game tomorrow. Obviously, the front man of the consortium that's just purchased nearly half of the club. 38%. You look at the coaching staff coming in under Andoni Iraola, a new head coach. You look at the players leaving, the players arriving. It's just everywhere you look, it's just a bit of flux there, isn't there? So I know transition is sometimes used as a bit of a euphemism for, a team that doesn't expect a challenge and is using that phrase to justify that. But I think it is genuinely a transitional year, isn't it? And still think expectations should be high, as they always will be. But, let's see what happens between now and Tuesday. But if they can add one or two more in certain areas, I still think Liverpool have got a really good squad and a chance of having an exciting season.
The only team that hasn't got any transition is Arsenal.
Yeah.
You look at everybody else. Chelsea got a new manager, Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham.
Half the league, isn't it?
Tottenham. I've missed somebody. Aston Villa haven't got a new manager, but it looks like they're going to have a new team completely. Yeah. United, slightly different. They've had Carrick for a while now, but their transition is away from playing once a week to playing loads.
They're everywhere, aren't they?
Exactly.
Just on Barcola, though, the money is obviously huge, but just in this summer and the way that the transfers have gone, there are £100 million players everywhere, aren't there? So do you think that, is a bit of a less of a focus on that? When Isak and Wirtz came in, it was very much the fees were kind of shouting out, weren't they? And then given the way that everything went with the team and it just felt like a kind of millstone around their neck almost. Do you think he can handle this as being a £120 million player a bit more? Because every team, not every team, the teams near the top, it feels like there are a lot of them.
Everyone's got one. I hope so. I mean, I think clubs are becoming increasingly comfortable with spending that kind of money on a player. And, it makes sense when you think, Liverpool's most recent revenues in January was 706 million, I think. It's probably going to increase next season. And, when you're earning that much per year, I guess you're okay with paying, say Barcola comes in on a 6-year deal, that's costing Liverpool 20 million a season for the sort of amortization. I can never say that word. Amortization of his contract. So when you're making £700 million per year and 20 million of it is going towards the Barcola fee, I think this is why clubs are quite comfortable paying these sorts of sums these days. It's still ridiculous and they don't do it, over and over again. But I think this is why you're seeing now why there are so many players who are 100 million plus. Certainly in the last 5 years, it's gone from Jack Grealish to Fernandes, Caicedo, Rice. Liverpool will have 3 of their own. Pretty much all of the top teams have got their own £100 million man now, haven't they? So it's just the way football's gone, I guess, and it is a ridiculous amount of money and pressure comes along with that. But they are being paid for players who are supposedly game changers. So let's see what happens.
How good would you have to be at your profession for a rival company to say, we will pay this other company £120 million? What profession would you be doing other than a sports person?
Rocket science.
But these are like in the 1 percentile of the best, aren't they? These players.
Very much the upper percentile of the quadrant of the XG.
Well, you've just been reeling off before we started recording. You've been reeling off all the names of the leagues around the world, haven't you?
Yes.
And then we were looking at the
Angolan league is good.
It's Flint against Hollywell or whatever.
Come on, Hollywell, get a win tonight.
So these players are very much the very tiny percentages of the best of the best.
But what's interesting is that I reckon that the difference between what they're getting played in the Welsh Premier to what they're getting played in the top of the Premier League is not, is not multiples of that. You know what I mean? I reckon they're not
proportionate.
But yeah, it's just not, is it?
Oh, it's none of the world, isn't it?
It's just, but then it's because they've got the money because TV broadcasters essentially spend a fortune on it and
look at what's happening.
Exactly, and get all their interviews. And we don't get any.
The club's valued at $6 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. That you could get a lot of cakes, but Rich can't if he was here. We'd bring the cakes in. You've not got the Friday cake. You don't have the Friday feeling, do you?
No, I won't quite feeling it. Sorry. Friday not
Cheers,
feeling
Mark.
it. I'll work on it.
And on that bombshell.
I'll get there. If this is the end of Gakpo's Liverpool career,
which it shouldn't be, but go on.
Will he be remembered as a Liverpool
Depends.
player?
By me. Good player.
Yeah,
won the league.
me too.
Top. Very good. Top international player.
Missed the League Cup, actually.
Missed the League Cup, not missed the League Cup.
Missed it.
Missed the league. Missed the score against Fulham as well. Likes to score against Fulham. But there'll be some supporters who'll be glad to see the back of him after last season. And I tell you what, if he does leave, I reckon it'll be more him wanting to go than anything else. And if he comes out and does an interview and says, I've gone because I was fed up with some of the treatment I got last season, I'd just say fair play.
He's not going to say that.
He should do, though, shouldn't he? At the end of his career, he should say that.
I think if he leaves, I think it's because he
should do.
He's
nice for that,
concerned about the competition for places. That £120 million fella's just come in to take his place. I hope he stays. It's dependent on Liverpool getting a right winger in, and if they don't, then they will look to have what they've got and continue on with Cody Gakpo. But let's see what happens. That Manchester City link at the top of the week was interesting, wasn't it? We know Tottenham are certainly keen to take him on, but what kind of fee would it be? In this day and age, we've just seen Savio, as seemingly is referred to, go for 85 million. He's done absolutely nothing at Manchester City.
He's got the Spurs.
So Gakpo's got to be worth more than that, and we know it became a bit of a punch bag, didn't he, Gakpo, last season, which was a bit unfair. He had a really tough season, but who didn't, let's be honest. And I think he deserved a fresh start as much as anyone else, really, going into this season at Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think a nod to his professionalism last weekend. I think he was one of the better players against Newcastle, scored a brilliant goal.
He was the best player?
Yeah,
Liverpool.
So with all of this going on, how many times have we seen players, there's one in the number 9 shirt for Liverpool who if a transfer is about to happen, they go on strike and things like that. He was playing and he scored an important goal.
He's going to say £85 million at the least for Gakpo.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It sounds daft, but Savinho's just gone for that, so why not?
£85 million, and when I'm long retired and he does his book, and then I hear about it, and he's gone, this and that, and he has a go, I'll be like, well done, Cody, well done.
Yeah, I don't think he would. He's too much of a nice fella, Cody Gakpo.
There's nothing unnice that basically reflecting your feelings.
In terms of dealings with him, is that what he's always come across as?
He's a man of few words. He doesn't say a whole lot, but you know what? To be fair to him, when I had the chance to speak to him in Japan on the previous pre-season tour, when the club was still sort of trying to move past the harrowing events of Diogo Jota, and he was the first person to sort of come out publicly and talk about it and reveal how the squad were feeling and thinking. And
comes across as quite a thoughtful person.
Yeah, very God-fearing, isn't he? Yeah. Strong family behind him and stuff like that. Obviously had the terrible news during the World Cup, didn't he, about his partner with the miscarriage. But yeah, he's always come across as a really likeable person, actually. And like I say, I hope he stays. But I do think if Liverpool can find a right winger on that on that side. I think that might bring in, some speculation or some movement over Gakpo's future, which looks like Tottenham are waiting in the wings, and maybe even City. We'll see what happens with Ilman and Jai, because that was the news yesterday as well, wasn't it? So a lot of plates being spun in the air.
And just on that right wing, you think Minter, there's still legs in that one. Ismail Assar's been linked, but he's a bit more of a central, isn't he?
That's only my feeling about Liverpool going back in for Minter. We are led to believe that they're moving on and looking at alternatives, having seen 2 bids rejected. I think Brighton went from wanting 70 to suddenly wanting 80. I was of the belief that maybe somewhere at 65 million there was going to be an agreement reached, but Brighton have sort of moved the goalposts a little bit. Fabian Hertel was talking about him yesterday and still made it sound as though it was very much up in the air what happens next. So I can see a world in where Brighton maybe reduce their asking price and Liverpool come back to the table, but that's just me speculating. We shall see.
Yeah, I speculate similarly, purely on the basis of what Fabian Hertel has said, which is, his words were almost as interesting as his hairline.
No, I mean, that is interesting.
Yeah, that's very good. Good work.
But 2 bids as well. It's not like Liverpool have made a bid,
they
rejected.
They want
and it's not like they're just going to add a look like with Sarr, who I think they're only...
That was a bit of a...
if they'd only try and sign him, it's just to stop him scoring against him.
Which I'm all for. Yeah.
7 goals in 10 games against Liverpool.
Only Ollie Watkins and Erling Haaland have scored more since 2020.
And the only team he scored more against, I think, is Aston Villa.
I think the good news is if he's not coming to Liverpool, he'll probably go to Galatasaray or Saudi or somewhere. So
or Fenerbahce.
Yeah, it might be. Well,
which
brings us on.
Yeah,
nice link.
There we go. Seamless.
That was excellent. There was a bit of
seamless as Hertel's hair.
Some stakeholders behind us. It's Hertel today.
Champions League draw got made yesterday. I didn't watch it. Go on for ages, don't they?
Didn't go on that long, to be fair.
Did it not?
No, once they started it didn't.
I didn't know it for about an hour. And
although when I turned the telly, when it started, it cut immediately to these people singing on the stage, and it was mildly terrifying. They were proper warblers.
8 games, obviously, you get this time in this league phase, as it's called. Atletico Madrid, Porto, Villarreal, and Lens at home. Inter Milan, Bruges, Fenerbahce, Lask away.
Last but not least.
Yeah. Any of them sticking out? Any trips you've been on those places in the past?
I've been to Bruges on holiday.
Yeah.
But Bruges is really nice, so I think every panel we wanted to go to that one, but the stadium's probably the smallest one. Literally went to Istanbul this year. You went last year, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah,
both against Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Literally went to Inter Milan last year when they played them.
Yeah.
And Lask,
a couple of years ago.
I went in 2023 with Theodore, Sebastian Barnaby Squires to
in the purple kit.
To there,
yeah.
And do you know which famous bad person is born in Linz?
Oh,
notorious Wrongen.
Is this going to be? Can we put this on the pod?
Yeah. Notorious Wrongen. They try and hide it. Let me just double check this. Go on, talk between yourselves.
Was it?
I was going to say
it was. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's the intro.
How did you find that out?
But how did you find that out?
I presume they don't make a song and dance to that.
Yeah, but when you look at the Wikipedia, it does get a mention.
They don't
put
it on like Welcome to Linz on the side.
Come and have a look at Hitler's old school. You know what I mean? Although Theo, I think Theo did go and have. Somebody went to that look anyway. And no, to be fair, I don't think he did. Somebody did though.
So anyway, that's thrown me a bit. What about? It's on the face of it. Hitler's birthplace aside, on the face of it, not a bad draw, really.
No. So they've drawn Atletico Madrid at home and they've drawn Inter away. So that means that they can't play either in that at home or away next season. UEFA's rules prohibit the same fixture happening 3 times.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
So at least that might be slightly different next season if Liverpool get there.
Curtis Jones.
Yeah, Curtis Jones reunion. Sick of seeing Liverpool play Atletico Madrid. I think this will be maybe the 8th time in about 6 or 7 years.
Felt like they played Porto about 10 times in about 5 years, but not for a while.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to see what they look like.
Lens is a new one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, Bruges, like Doyle says, will be the one that they all want to get on. Fabulous place.
Fenerbahce feels like a new one. I played Galatasaray and Besiktas before.
Yeah, Istanbul's a great city. Chance to go back there and play a new team in a different stadium. So it's not bad. Could have been more difficult, couldn't it?
Yeah. How do you see their sort of Champions League hopes as a whole? There's a lot of talk about the Premier League and how Iraola's going to do in that. His obviously first instructions to the Champions League as well. We saw last season, didn't we, that they suited playing in the Champions League a bit more when they were struggling in the league.
Well, it was a different style of football, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't as kind of physically intense. It wasn't as set piece oriented and all that sort of stuff. And that suited Liverpool. They don't have to go and win the thing. You know, we've seen makes no odds, really, does it? They won the first iteration of it. They finished third last season. You know, still go through. Probably draw PSG again anyway. So, yeah, I think if they win the games that you know that they probably should definitely win on paper, I think they'd be halfway there to being home and hosed. And if they can win at Atletico, if they can beat Atletico at Anfield rather, then yeah, it seems like not straightforward, of course, but it's decent enough, isn't it? Decent enough in terms of qualifying.
He wasn't born there,
Go
but he did spend his formative childhood and adolescent years there.
There we go.
He did his growing up there.
He did his growing up in maybe you went to watch last play?
He could have done, but yeah, anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, move on.
Okay. Yeah, enough of that. There's a game this weekend. They're playing Nottingham Forest at 12:30.
Oh, great. Love the half 12s.
At
You get a breakfast.
On,
yeah, at home. Yeah.
they're playing at 12:30 at Anfield.
I'm going to show this to everyone at Liverpool.
That's when it is.
Clip it up.
37 games to go, guys. 37 games to go.
Here we are. It's first Premier League game at home. That's exciting. And
yeah, it is.
And
for him, anyway.
Yeah. First home game of the season. Everyone's excited. Maybe. Talk about it.
Well, obviously, Nottingham Forest have a very good recent record.
They
emerged triumphant by 3-0 last
Still
time.
haven't scored.
And
It was
has a very good recent record against Liverpool as well.
Although he did lose his last game.
He did lose his
which
last
was
game.
the last game competitive game Liverpool actually won, which was in April.
Was it?
25th of April, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't won. We've only played 5 since then,
Yeah,
but they've drawn 3 and lost 2. I think that's right. They've certainly lost 2. They drew with United, drew with Chelsea.
Lost 2.
They got beat
drew
by
3. They drew 2 and lost 2 at the end of the season, didn't they?
It was
Drew with Chelsea.
Drew with Chelsea and Brentford, that's it,
Yeah.
yeah. And drawn Newcastle this season. So, yeah, on a little bit of a run, but obviously it doesn't really count if it's over 2 seasons. Forest, though, they've not started the season brilliantly.
Lost to Leeds twice.
Yes,
Which
1-0
ideal.
and 2-0. But, as Areola said in his press conference on Thursday, which he held for this game, is that he mentioned that it was a close game and Leeds only won in the last minute of a free kick.
Yeah.
So, a set piece. So, I think we know what to expect. We know what Forest players are like. They've got 1 or 2 new ones, obviously. They've just signed Liam Delap, haven't they?
Yep.
So I think he'll be available, and he's exactly the kind of forward that if Jeremy Jacquet does start the game, he'll be like, welcome to English football. It wasn't really like that, was it, at Newcastle? I didn't think anyway. They didn't really have a massive physical presence up front.
was a unit.
But
They're
they're
just all rapid,
fast,
weren't they?
aren't
They were
they? They're
just
fast rather
absolutely
than
rapid,
cumbersome, yeah. Which is a bit of a different test. But yeah, Forest know how to win. And I think for Liverpool's players, it will be there in the back of their minds. It will be there. Even the one that they won, which was a couple of years ago, they won 3-2, didn't they? Seem to remember. Right near the...
Jota got a couple of goals.
And that was a bit of a slog. So, Forest haven't been particularly...
Forest away last Liverpool. I mean, when McAllister scored right at the end, it was probably the worst performance of the season, wasn't it?
But was funny. That was funny, yeah. And of course, Nunes scored a last-minute one as well, didn't he? Yeah. And they got a equaliser in a 1-1 game as well, didn't they? It was when Tsimikas and Jota just come on. Yeah. So,
I mean, the Anfield games, the 3-0 was particularly grim, wasn't it?
I think that was probably the nadir of last season, actually, because it was right in that run, was it? That might have been the one where
PSV had been a few days before.
It was the statistic of them losing 9 and 12. I think that might have been the 9th of the 12, and started slowly turning around after that with the trip to West Ham. I mean, Iraola spoke yesterday about being an emotional day for him, but he'll be focused on the game. But it will give him a chance to reflect on how far he's come in a relatively short space in terms of his coaching career. So, yeah, I just hope there's an atmosphere. There never normally is at half 12. It's the first game of the new season. It's a new era. The crowd, the players will need the fans behind them, no doubt about it. So I hope it is a bit different to your standard 12:30s, which can sometimes be a little bit subdued. So yeah, let's see. But I mean, Forest going for the 3rd straight victory at Anfield, which seems incredible, really. But I think if Liverpool can make sure that they're not as susceptible to counter-attacks as they were last week, I think they've got every chance of turning the screw and coming away with the win.
Wirtz didn't play either of the 2 games last season. He was injured for the 3-0, and then if you remember, he got injured in the warm-up.
Yeah, he was never the same after that injury.
So I think he's been speaking, hasn't he, to... You did something like this
Sky
morning.
Germany.
Yeah. And what did he say?
He was just talking about, he's not... He might not come across as the most natural leader, but he leads by example on the pitch, and, he wants to... He's not entertaining any talk of it being that transition thing that we said before, because Liverpool should be competing for trophies, and he's excited by what Iriola's trying to do on the pitch, and I think he called it, he wants to play power football. So, yeah, I mean, it was good to hear from him, but let's do some talking on the pitch as well, because
he was criticised, wasn't he, by Gary Neville after the Newcastle game, him and Isak. But it just feels like not so much Neville himself, but that sort of mainstream thing. It feels like people are looking at him, do something.
I mean, it is only the first game, but I could understand what Neville was on about, where he was saying maybe Isak and Wirtz have had a little bit of an easy ride.
I think Isak gets a bit of a pass for that game, because it was a bit tough for
difficult for Isak in terms of being out for 4 months and all that sort of stuff.
Wirtz did have a shot in the first half as well.
Got a good save.
But I don't necessarily think it was just that game he was talking about, was it? He was talking more broadly about they've come in for 240 million combined, and they're yet to see a return on that. But they've got to deliver this season, because if they don't, then Liverpool won't be able to do anything. And that's just the top and bottom of it, really. So... yeah, they're building up a relationship. It will come in time, and I'd love to see it start showing some real, green shoots of prosperity, shall we say, tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we'll come to picking teams then. For the 12:30 kickoff at Anfield tomorrow, who are you putting in goal, Ian?
Oh, I reckon Mamadashvili and Woodman are not going to be picked, and it'll be Alisson.
Yeah.
And as for the back four, Jack Hay's still in, so it's them four. Although the two fullbacks were absolutely atrocious against Newcastle, it does say a lot, though, that there's no one else at right back, and Tsimikas is very far off it at the moment, so there's not much choice there. Araujo could play, but not...
Maybe if Delap plays.
Yeah, but not at right back at home against Nottingham Forest. If it was away against Nottingham Forest, you go, well, and he was playing right back, then fair enough.
And if Delap, maybe Delap doesn't start for Forest, maybe he comes on. Maybe
they can come on together. Yeah, in the second half.
Have a big fight.
I've got real worries over Frimpong in terms of, is he good enough to cut the mustard? What is he offering? What's his game?
Yeah.
We know he's quick, we know that, but other than that, you're still waiting to see some telling crosses from right back, and he's like last week Harvey Barnes bullied him at times. He doesn't necessarily look like someone who's cut out for the rough and tumble of the Premier League at the moment. But there's no one else, is there, at the moment? So same as you, Doyle, Jack A just over Araujo, and that's the same back four, same back five.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Do you keep the same two midfield after all the stick they've had, though?
So I think the problem you've got is one's a dribbler and one's a runner. So when they're both doing what they like to do, that's where you leave the midfield empty, and that's where Liverpool get caught. So they need to work on that if Liverpool aren't going to be bringing in a defensive midfielder, which we're led to believe they're not as things stand. But it's only going to come with time. So I think if you were to put someone in like McAllister tomorrow, I think that will just disrupt the rhythm of Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. So I'm going to stick with them and just hope that the week on the training pitch is iron that out a little bit more.
I think if it was 2 weeks down the line, there'd be a chance I'd probably put McAllister in, but we're not. So it's going to have to be those two.
Where he is, and he didn't have a pre-season.
Yeah, so it's going to have to be those two.
Yeah.
And with Wirtz as number 10.
Yes. And the wings then?
Again, it's a similar reason, really. I'm sticking with Rio on the right because, he's only played there once competitively, and for now it looks at least as though that's his position. So what kind of message does it send if he gets taken out of the final line? I did like Victor Munoz off the bench, but I think he could be a real option because there aren't too many other options at the moment, are there? So, yeah, sticking with Rio and Munoz off the bench.
I'm going to put Munoz to start because then if you bring Ngumoa on, he could come on for either Gakpo or Munoz, and Isak up front, where hopefully the crowd won't boo him every second. Although it was very, very funny. I mean, I always find these things, it's the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite to it being hostile. I just think it's hilarious.
I've never known it like that, though. It wasn't just boos, it was all kinds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like even the most disliked former players just get boozed. This was a bit of everything. And even when he kicked the ball out when there was another ball on the pitch, he got booed for that as well.
I think I'd go with Ungamoa, his birthday. So you got to answer.
You can't pick players just because it's the birthday.
That's not just why I'm doing it. I'm just saying. I'm saying that he turns 18 tomorrow. I think I'd just go with him. I think Munoz very good, didn't he, off the bench? But I think that's his role for now, as a kind of impact sub. That'll do us then.
Are we not predicting the scores?
Oh yeah, go on then.
Go Steve.
2-0 Liverpool.
The winless run continues. 1-1.
1-1.
I've not said Liverpool to win a game for about 6 months, and I've mostly been right.
Did you predict all the friendlies?
No, we don't do that. Come on, got to draw the line somewhere.
I will.
Content has to stop at some point.
Yeah,
the content never stops.
I don't think it's going to be very pleasant. I think I'll go for 1-0. I think Liverpool will win 1-0.
Hope you're right.
We'll see. Right, thank you very much to Ian and to Paul and to you for watching, and we'll see you next week.